Hello readers and writers and welcome back. First off, I do want to apologize for my appearance. I woke up with a headache and I'm just like, I need to film. I haven't filmed a video for you guys in a bit. And it's my off day besides homework and stuff like that, so I'm like, it's fine. But yeah, this is gonna be my January wrap up and then February TBR. January was actually a relatively good month. Not so much in the quality of books that I read, but more so the quantity, because I am also now counting plays and stuff that I read as, you know, a book. So I'm reading those because I'm in a script analysis class and then a acting for non-majors class. And then I have a creative writing advanced composition class in which I'll be reading a poem book, which I'll show you guys here in a second, a short fictions book, and then a play. So yeah, I will be counting those. So you're gonna see a lot of plays and these wrap-ups and stuff like that, but it's fine. Let's just get into it. Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. This is the first book in the Truly Devious series. And this one, I actually really enjoyed. I think when I first rated it, like I gave it 5 stars, but then I kind of thought about it and I reduced it to 4, but it's probably at a 4.5 if we're being honest here. The only reason I reduced it is because the original mystery of this, the one that happened like in the 19 whatever, it was never really talked about again. Like the focus shifted, and that one was just so, you know, entertaining, and I was just kind of disappointed that the focus shifted. That, and I feel like with the subplot mystery, there wasn't that much of a build-up. It was very smart. I just like she put it together at once with like a clue, you know. So like, how do I say this without sounding conceited? I didn't feel smart when I read the mystery or read the reveal because I was like, huh? You know, which like in part is good, but I feel like there weren't enough clues, you know, for that. Like there wasn't enough give for that. Like I kind of guess this person to be the bad guy, but that was just because I was like guessing. I'm like, is there really gonna be that person that we've rarely seen throughout this entire thing? Is it really gonna be that person? Really? And then there were a few, the romance, I don't mind the romance in this book. It was just kind of weird because like they made out after finding their classmate dead. And then the other time that they kissed, it was like under similar circumstances, like really depressing circumstances. I get it. You're teenagers, your emotions are high, things have just happened, you don't really know what to do, but it was just a weird thing, and I wish that it would have been mentioned. It's like, oh, I feel disgusted with myself for doing that, how could I have done that? That was honestly about it, and then the twist at the end, I was like, I kind of saw that one coming, but I kind of also don't care, and it literally leaves with a to be continued. I was like, but yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoy this. I will be reading The Vanishing Stair, which we'll get into with the February TBR. But yeah, I really like this. All Your Twisted Secrets by Diana Urban. This one, I gave 3 stars. The premise, absolutely spectacular. The cover, absolutely spectacular. Which, by the way, the cover was by Evgeny Koroloev. I'll put her Instagram page or whatever on the screen, and I'll link her stuff down below. This is absolutely beautiful. Yeah. And like, it's basically, it revolves around teenagers being trapped in a room, and they have a needle full of poison, and then they have a bomb that's ticking down, so they have a time restraint too, and they have to choose someone to die or else they're all going to die. And I actually really enjoyed this, and I felt like, for the most part, the way in which they were reacting to the situation was very realistic. Oftentimes in these scenarios, especially with teenagers in YA books, they don't act correctly in high-stress situations. But I felt like they did. The one thing I will say about this is they kept on going back and forth, and I understand this, I understand it, but they kept on going back and forth of, let's kill him, let's kill her, let's kill him, let's kill her, and then they would like make a full circle, and then come back and be like, no, let's stick with my first choice, let's kill him, and it just repeated. I'm just like, okay, I get it. I would have liked it to like kind of, you know, stick, I don't know, but anyway, they are tasked with finding out, or trying to find out, who has done this to them. So there are a lot of flashbacks within here. The flashbacks were fine. I don't know. They felt kind of repetitive at some points, and I could kind of see where it was going. And I just don't understand how Amber was so naive towards Sasha. Like Sasha's the mean popular girl, right? And that's what Amber thought. She was like, oh, she's gonna be a terrible person, right? And then they befriend one another, and then when her other best friend is like, hey, Sasha's being really mean to me, she's like, well, Sasha's under a lot of pressure. And it's like, but like, you've known her to be mean, and now your friend is telling you that she's being mean, and you're covering for her, and you don't believe it, and then when, like, people are like, no, she's being mean, you're shocked. It's like, there's a reason you believed in the first round that she was a mean girl, you know? Like that just kind of, it irked me. It irked me. And the twist, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of saw this coming, only because I was given no other option. I wish, and I'm not gonna spoil anything, that there would have been, they would have settled on something and be like, I know who's done this. It's he, her, them, whatever. I know this person. And then when the twist comes, it's like, no, you know? But like, I was just given no other option because everyone they thought of, they crossed out. And also, that brings me to my next point. I kind of got mad with the logic of some characters revolving I don't know if I can say this word on YouTube, so I'll just call it a pew-pew weapon, a pew-pew thing. A classmate of Amber's, the main character, brought a pew-pew weapon to school, right? And so she sees it in his backpack and she tells people, like she tells the like principal and stuff, which is what you're supposed to do, right? Like I was born in '01, okay? The threat of that happening at any high school was very real. Like every single day, like anytime a soft lockdown, like it was like, oh, is it finally happened? You know, like it's very real, and she did the right thing with telling people, especially because if we look in like actual, and I'm not getting political, if we look in actual events like this, people, the proper authorities are tipped off. The parents are tipped off. Hey, your child is acting weird. I think they're gonna do this, and nothing is done about it. So I was like, bravo, bravo. And the adults, they acted properly. I'm like, yes. But then her fellow classmates get mad at her because she didn't ask why he brought a pew-pew weapon to school. And it's because he had an abusive father. And it was a BB gun. But like, and they were mad at her. They're like, you should have asked. No, you should not have asked why he had that in his backpack. You should have done what you did and ran to the principal. I just, that logic really, really ticked me off. Like if I saw one of my classmates had that and I was like, hey, why do you have that? Is something going on? That's dumb. Why would I do that? Why would I put myself in that situation? And like, I just didn't understand why people were being mean to her. And they're like, you should have asked. You didn't know what he was. He brought it to school. You brought it to school. And like, he kind of saw Amber looking at it. All he had to do was be like, whoa. It's a BB weapon. It's not real. Look, and show it. He didn't do that. He just ran off. Okay? So that's my rant out of the way. That was the one thing that really, really ticked me off Like, I'm like, no, no, no. But yeah, I'm actually gonna review this book because I really want to talk about the ending, but I can't without giving anything away. So I am going to review this book, and I know I have a lot of reviews that need to be done. That's an upcoming video, I promise. But yeah, I read this. I'm like, I have to review it. I have to. So look forward to that. New Names for Lost Things by Noor Anahar. This one is actually a poetry book. I had to read this for my advanced composition writing class, creative writing class, and do a book review about it. And like, I chose this one because it has to be from an author that's alive, and just the length of the poems, I'm like, I know I can get through this, whereas like Pillow Thoughts or whatever, like I'm like, oh, that's such a long book, you know, I don't know. But yeah, I kind of like this one. I gave it 3 stars. Only because there were a lot of poems in here that I just didn't like, I didn't understand. And when I say this is not a bad thing, but a lot of the poems were personalized towards her culture. I believe she's Islamic, maybe? Okay, so she lives in Pakistan. They actually don't have an author bio in here, which is kind of weird. Maybe they just don't have one in poetry books? Question mark? But yeah, she lives in Pakistan. And so a lot of the poems are personalized towards that culture, those beliefs, whatever. And like, that's fine. I just couldn't relate to it. You know, I couldn't relate to certain things. And like, again, this is not a bad thing. I just didn't know that the poems were going to be like that. I like the poems that are more like, they can relate to anyone. Like, you know, it's like broken heart, that kind of stuff. I just couldn't relate to her beliefs or her culture or the way in which she was raised, which again, is no big deal. I just couldn't relate to it. I couldn't, like, you know, like is not the word I'm looking for, but I couldn't like that specific poem because I just didn't know, you know. So like that was the only problem with it, but I think I'm actually getting into poetry, and I kind of want to read more poetry books. Hi, hello, who is this? I don't know. This is a very interesting twist. This is a very interesting subplot. What is happening? A Raisin in the Sun by Lorraine Hansberry. This one I actually didn't rate. I haven't decided if I'm going to rate the plays or not. I might. But if I were to rate it, I would give it 4 stars. It was good. I liked it. I just couldn't. It's about an African American family. And like, you can understand all the context that you want. But like, we were talking about it in class, and you know, we just can't relate on that level about what is going on. We can understand it, we just can't relate. We can't be like, yeah, no, I completely know where this character's coming from. We can't do that. Then that's not an issue. I'm just saying that, you know, that's what it's about. It's about an African American family who are struggling, and then they get money, and then they buy a house in a white neighborhood, and that neighborhood is like, hey, we'll give you more money not to move in. So it's gentrification, essentially, that's happening there. So yeah, I actually really enjoyed it. I read it in one sitting. It took me around an hour-ish. Yeah, that's really all I say. Penguin Blues, a 1-act play by Ethan Phillips. This one I really didn't like. I didn't rate this one because it's a 1-act play. It's really too short. That, and this is his first play, and I'm like, there's like 2 other ratings here on Goodreads. I really don't want to bring down his score or say anything about it. I'll just let it be. There were some good ideas in here. It just never felt followed through. Like, as I was reading it, it was an easy read. It was just very difficult to like what was happening. Like, I could get into it, but then I was like, oh my gosh, is this really happening? Are we having this conversation? Essentially, it's about 2 alcoholics, and they're in a rehab facility, essentially, and they just babble and talk. And that's it. And it's just 1 act of that. And I'm like, okay, great. You know, that's it. That's really it. But yeah, it was his first play, and I could definitely tell it was his first play in the nicest way possible. I don't really know what else he's done. I'm looking at his thing right now, and it looks like he just does like cookbooks, simple ADHD and autism guide, keto. Yeah, he just does cookbooks. So this is really his only like fiction piece that he's done. And respectfully, in the nicest way possible, it really does show. But yeah, if I had to rate it, I'd probably give it 2 stars. And that is it for the January wrap-up. Again, we had quite a few. I'm kind of impressed. So let's move on into the February TBR. 14 Ways to Die by Vincent Ralph. This one I'm only like 5 chapters in, and these chapters are like really short. Like they're like, I don't know if you can see that, like a few pages, right? So that's not really saying anything. So far, I like the premise. It's too soon to really say. But yeah, I wanted to read this one next instead of Vanishing Stair. I was like, yes, I want this one. Cover, pretty nice. I can't really say anything about it. It's about a magpie man, which is a serial killer, and Jess, her mother, was killed by the magpie killer, and then he went on to kill, I believe it was 13 more people. So in total, he's killed 14 people. And then he goes back years later as she enters I think it's like a reality TV show to kind of tell her story and win money and stuff like that. And he comes back, and I believe he makes like phone calls and stuff like that and threats. So that's really interesting. Again, I can't really say anything about it, but I know myself, and I know that with shorter chapters, I tend to really read through them because I read by chapter. I don't even look at the page numbers. Those stress me out because they have to be on a even number or a divisible by 5, so 5, 10, 15, stuff like that. It really stresses me out. I don't know why, but yeah, no, I read books like this really quickly because I just go from chapter, so that's gonna be fun. Hopefully that trend remains. The Vanishing Stair by Maureen Johnson. This one I can't really say anything. I haven't even read the back of it, to be honest, because like I didn't want it to give anything away for Truly Devious. I'm not going to do that to you guys just in case you still want to read Truly Devious. So all I can say about this one is that it takes place directly after Truly Devious, and it follows the events of that one. Obviously, I don't know what's really going to happen in here besides like where that one left off. I don't know what's going to be added, but I am excited. I really do enjoy Maureen Johnson's writing, and I didn't mention this in the wrap-up of that one, but I really enjoy the way that anxiety is represented within the book. I like how it's described and it's handled and stuff like that. There are a few scenes where it seemed like it kind of died out really quickly, but I really did enjoy that. Oftentimes when a YA character has anxiety, it's not really dealt with properly. It's not really written about properly. So yeah, I really enjoyed the way it was handled and dealt with and talked about. But yeah, can't wait to read this. Extraordinary by V.E. Schwab. This is just a graphic novel following a girl. I don't think she was mentioned in Vicious or Vengeful. She might have been, but I don't think really. But I've kind of skimmed through it, and it does have Victor and Ethan in here, so like the stories kind of connect, and I'm like, that's really actually cool, and we kind of get more of a backstory. It's kind of cool to see those brought to the page. I've kind of already talked about this, so I won't really dwell on it, but yeah, I want to get into more graphic novels this year. I found a 1984 graphic novel the other day at Books A Million. I almost bought it, but I was like, do I want this? I think I kind of do, actually. I think I do. It's just such a big thing, But yeah, I want to read more stuff like this, and I think starting out, or not starting out because I did Lore Olympus, but starting out typically with an author that I really like, following a story that I really like, can't really go wrong. And if I finish these two, if you guys can't tell, I am in like a mystery, whatever, vibe right now. That's just what I want to read. So I've made up my mind, if that vibe remains, if that want remains, I'm going to read Horrid, which I picked up. I don't believe I showed you guys that, but I just saw it in Barnes & Noble. I was like, I'm never going to see this one again, so I bought it. But yeah, that's about it. I'm in a mystery thriller reading thing right now. And then, like I said, more plays and stuff are going to be added to there, all my school books. So, thank you as always for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And it means the world to me if you follow me on all my other social media, such as Instagram and Facebook, and my writing platforms. Those will be listed down in the description below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!